No, 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 cat, what are you doing? No, what have you turned my engine off? What are you up to? Ah! No! Get off! No! Ah! Ugh. What's up, guys? Dutchmite here. Welcome to my tutorial series, How to Sim. Today we're going to be going through takeoff and landing, and we're going to be taking up the Hurricane. This one here, that's a Sea Hurricane. We're going to take the Mark 1L up, which in my opinion is one of the better low-tier planes for flight sim, as it's very forgiving. So here we are at the end of the runway on this beautiful morning. Before we get started, we'll just have a look at the controls that we're going to be utilizing over the next sort of couple of minutes. So hit escape, go to controls, and the first one up is your throttle, roll, pitch, and yaw axis. And there's multiple videos about how to set up your control axes. So I won't do that during this video, but these are the ones that you're going to require for actually controlling the plane. Another couple that you're going to want to look at under mechanization is your flaps toggle, gear toggle, and your left and right brake. Alright, so now that we're back in the cockpit, what we're going to do is just have a quick look around and make sure that all our controls are responding with the aircraft. So we go ahead and jiggle our joystick back and forth, make sure our elevators work. Correction, those are the elevators. Working, and our ailerons. Because we can't see our rudder, just look at our feet. Look at our feet with whatever controls you've set that up for and see that our rudder pedals are working. And quickly our throttle. So easy. They're working nice and good. So we're going to go ahead and hit I, which is one key that we didn't cover off, and that's our ignition. That's going to start our engine. And at the same time we'll hit F, make sure our flaps are set to take off. Now the Hurricane is quite user friendly. Like I said before, it's pretty forgiving, and it does have quite a short takeoff time. So all we're going to do is slowly throttle up, keeping our nose pointed down the runway by using our rudder pedals. And then once we get up to a certain speed, we'll start to have the nose dip down, and then we'll slowly pitch up. Go ahead and do that now. Wait for the RPM to come up, and here we go. We're just going to slowly start increasing the thrust. You can see it there, the RPM gauge going up. We're starting to move to the left and right, so we're just going to control the nose by using our rudder pedals. Nose is going to come down, and we're going to pull back on the stick. Get some air, and just like that, you're airborne. Once we're in the air, press G, raise the gear, and press F to raise the flaps. And just like that, you're good to go. Alright guys, so now that we're in the air, the next step is trying to get down. So the first thing you want to do is identify where you're going to try and land. Oh look, there's a nice runway there, how convenient. So what we want to do is we want to get our plane into a position where we're straight onto the runway. At the same time, we want to start bleeding speed so that we don't come crashing down at a fair rate of knots. But we don't want to bleed too much speed that we end up high-fiving the trees on the way in, or putting our nose in the dirt, becoming a mole. We're going to keep an eye on the airfield at all times relative to where our plane is. Slowly start throttling down. Once we get to about 250, that's where we can start, or 250 kilometers an hour, that's where we can start putting our gear down, changing our flaps. We put our gear and flaps down, and when we're going too fast, they're just going to rip straight off. I have track IR, and I can just move my head just to keep an eye on that airfield at all time, but you can use a hat switch, or if you're on mouse and keyboard, you can use the C key. Cool guys, so I'm going to drop my gear, drop my flaps down, and I'm just going to try keep my speed from dropping below about 150. At the same time, I'm sort of just pointing my nose down because we are a little bit high. If in doubt, come down a little bit too fast. It's better to go too fast than too slow. We're dropping altitude now. Once we get over that grass, we'll drop our throttle down to about 30%. And then once we get over the runway, we'll probably drop down to about 0. I'm going to start bringing the nose up now. A little bit more throttle. We are slowly decreasing in altitude. We're coming down to 400 feet now. Bit more throttle, just a little bit more power. I'm using the rudder pedals just to keep us in line with the center of the runway. Go down to about 30. And butter. Throttle to 0, using the rudder pedals. Bit of a harsh landing, but that's nothing too bad. These warbirds can take it.
Hi, what's your status? We're on course, on time, and on target. Everything's fine. How are you?
We're good, thank you. Alright, and that's us. A little bit of brakes. Just to slow us down. And we stop. And that's how we land the Hurricane.